Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Glad you joined us tonight. We have a good show going on tonight. We're going to start out with talking with an artist from the Sandy, Oregon area. And Vernon Groff, you are with the MetroEast Artisans Guild.
Correct.
And you are the public relations man for MetroEast.
Yes, they needed a volunteer, and I was there.
You were there, but you are a very prolific artist, I understand.
Yes, I can't put my brush down.
Well, some obsessions are okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But so tell me first, before we talk about the art itself, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about MetroEast Artisans Guild. What's the mission of this organization, and why did you come about?
Well, the mission has changed a bit, or at least it's somewhat fluid.
Okay.
I see it as a way of creating venues for local artists to present their work. I think that you can't grow as an artist if you're not doing it. I see it as an activity. And I think that, in my case anyway, when I don't have access to a venue, I suddenly discover I've got piles of paintings along the floor and leaning against the wall. The walls are full, the stairway's full. It's silly.
Sounds like you paint a lot, though. I bet you paint more than a lot of people do. If you have that many.
Well,
that
yes.
Many,
all you have to do is paint 1 or 2 paintings a week, and that's like 100 paintings a year.
That's a lot.
And you've been painting for 20 years. That's a lot of paintings.
That's a lot of paintings. So when you say venue, a place to hang your art.
Correct.
Place to display it.
And possibly even sell something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But that way you can get feedback, because otherwise you're just studying your navel,
So you want to grow as an artist, is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I want input.
Okay.
I can't function without it. And I suspect other people will profit by input also. I used to belong to a critique group, and it was great because every month everybody had to bring a painting, and we all sat around and kind of tore them apart in the nicest way possible. It acted as a nice spur.
Yeah, so that is an incentive to you to get that feedback.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me about the venues where you have hung your work or displayed your work.
Well, I've been in a couple of galleries over the years, but in the MetroEast thing, they have piggybacked this show with the Sandy Actors Theater. The Sandy Actors Theater has a beautiful foyer. They have a lovely large wall, and it's been painted beautifully. It's well lit, and lovely way to hang things. And there are, I think, usually 5 shows or plays at the Sandy Actors Theater people put on every season. And they got together with our group from MetroEast, and we get this nice little list at the beginning of each year saying, these are the plays. Then we sit around and try to come up with visual themes that
kind of go with it.
Oh, yes.
Sort of in that same vein.
Seem appropriate.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we get our people and say, here we are. We're going to get these 5 shows. Everybody start painting.
So how long have you had that partnership with the Sandy Actors Theater?
I started only about 8 months ago, but I believe we're in about a 3rd year, I think.
Okay, so there are about 5 shows a year at the Sandy Actors Theater, and we've had Tim Park from Sandy Actors Theater on this show several times.
Yes.
And we've actually had some little scenes acted out from the shows, and they do some terrific work there. So, but the whole foyer there is just perfect for your art. So how many artists or how many pieces do you normally are you able to show in that area?
We could probably put, depending on the size of the pieces, as many as 18 pieces.
Okay.
And it sort of varies. It's probably around 16 to 20 maybe, somewhere in there.
Okay, so every time they have a play going, you can count on being able to see some MetroEast artisans' work.
Yes, and there's always a little bio. And
do people, is it just a showing, or am I to understand there's sort of a social there too, or are some of the artists there present when? On
February 6th, this coming February 6th, there will be the artist reception followed by a dress rehearsal presentation of the play. And
so people can come to the artist reception, actually meet the artists.
Correct. The artists, it's up to our own discretion whether or not we want to participate in that part, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like to talk.
That's why you're here.
There's somebody who moderates it or who presents it, and then she'll call the people and say, "Would you like to explain what you're doing and what things like that?"
I think that's fun. People like to see the artists behind the creation, whether it be a poem
Sure.
or a book or a piece of fine art or whatever.
It's fun to explain it.
Yeah, I bet it is. Explain what your motivation is besides the fact that you had all this stuff stacking up here and you needed to get rid of it.
Well, actually, it isn't working out quite that way.
No?
No, because these are specific themes, I found that I have to paint new paintings.
Oh, right.
So I've really been going through the watercolor paper.
I love watercolor. So the name of this play, this is
Almost Maine.
Almost Maine, yes. Yeah. Okay, so and the name of the show that you are doing, the name of the artist showing is,
It Must Be Love.
It Must Be Love. I was going to say all about love. It must be love. Why that? Because it's Valentine's Day for one thing. It's right around Valentine's Day.
Possibly. But Almost Maine, as I recall from my reading on it, it's 7 vignettes of, I think 7, of short love stories. Or actually, they're not even complete love stories. They're kind of like the way two people kind of come together and then they sort of try to find out if they fit.
Oh, okay.
And then some people who think they fit discover that they don't fit.
Like real life?
Exactly. I think a humorous look at it in many cases.
Entertaining.
So it seemed appropriate that It Must Be Love was a natural way to build on that.
Well, there were some pictures. I believe that you brought some pictures. This is obviously the flyer for the show itself.
Correct. I do as for the PR guy, I do their stuff. This is the theme painting that Becky did.
Oh, okay.
And then this is Cappuccino Dreams. It's my contribution.
Oh, this is yours. Okay.
And I've thought of the cappuccino with all the foam and the beautiful clouds and things.
Yeah.
And again, these specific people, you can't tell exactly what's happening. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work?
Did they just meet?
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns there.
A lot of speculation could go on in looking at that picture. See, we have some more pictures, I believe, and they'll be coming up as we go through the show. You can kind of tell us what we're looking at as they come on the screen. If you get to know the artists in the guild pretty well.
Yes, in fact, we have an interesting range. We have people who. Let me back up. The second Monday of every month, there's an open to the public meeting at Clackamas Bank. They have a little auditorium in Sandy. And public's invited, anybody can come. And in that, we discuss stuff, we talk about new things that are going to happen, we introduce people. There might be a presentation, there might be a demonstration. It's pretty fluid.
Are all your meetings? You have other meetings that are not open to the public. Is that right, or are all these meetings?
I suspect that's the one that's the biggest kind that's open to everybody, and really everything is pretty much decided there. But the individual, what do we call them, mini groups? Like the PR person and the secretary, and I get together with maybe 1 or 2 other people that we know will participate as part of a team.
Right.
And then we will say, well, let's do this. And we decide, we'll do that. And unless somebody yells at us, that's what we do.
You don't need everybody to make the decision, right?
Correct. It's pretty.
I understand that. I do.
But anyhow, so you get people that have just walked in the door that think, I'd like to pick up a paintbrush. And at the other end of the spectrum, we have a bona fide, nationally recognized professional who's published perhaps a dozen books on art.
Really?
Yeah. So we've got this wide range, and people are very kind about it. There's constructive criticism, or there's just friendly, happy thoughts. Nobody's going to go pointing a finger and try to destroy somebody.
Right. It's a supportive atmosphere.
Correct.
Yeah. So when you say you have discussions or presentations, what kind of things? Like, I mean, just like about different kinds of art, or a different particular artist, or?
Well, they vary a lot. Back in November, we had a presentation by one of the members who has kind of been in a marketing venue all her life. And she was really interesting because she had very specific things, ways to promote yourself.
Oh.
You know, things you might be forgetting that a lot of artists, we're just not geared to that. You know?
You're in the mindset of an artist where you're creating but not worrying about the marketing end of it.
Yeah, we're in the mousetrap set, you know.
Yeah.
Build a mousetrap, the world will be a path to your door.
It doesn't always work that way,
No,
does it?
it
You gotta let the world know
Yeah.
about it first.
Anyhow, so it was a very constructive, thoughtful time. This last time, they decided to have some fun, and they just said, hey, if you got any extra paints, brushes, art materials that you don't want, bring it, and we'll throw it out on this big table and kind of a grand grab bag, and we'll draw numbers, and everybody gets to pick something they think they might like.
I like that.
So here's all this stuff. I got a beautiful bag of colored buttons for my wife.
Oh, fun. And your wife is rather artistic herself.
Yes, she knits, and sometimes she likes to put buttons on hats and things. I thought, oh, hey, there's like 80 beautiful colored buttons.
Oh, how fun. That sounds great. Now, the pieces that will be in the show at the Sandy Actors Theater, those are for sale?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I think every now and then somebody has an NFS on there, not for sale.
Yeah.
And, but frankly, our sales they happen occasionally. You know, if we normally we might sell a painting each, one painting or two paintings a show.
And then you're happy.
And everybody's happy, yeah. Art is not a fast way to make a buck.
No. But you're sharing it with the community, and that's a beautiful thing. So we do have some more pictures of some other art that's going to be displayed there. So if we can bring those up on the screen, I'd like to take a look at those, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about them here. Now this is not in the show.
Correct.
This is one of yours.
Yeah, I've become...
I love this.
We have all these wonderful... we live on a dead-end street, very rural, and everybody seems to have animals. And I've kind of fallen in love with them. They come up and they look at you, you know.
Like this one?
Exactly. And you can tell that they're evaluating me, and I'm not so sure I'm coming out on the good end.
That is a great expression on that face. I mean,
Yeah, and it was a young little goat, and boy, that thing... I felt
how'd
really
you get him
humble.
to stand there that long so you could paint?
I take photographs.
Oh, do you?
Obviously,
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because everything moves
Now
so
turn
quickly.
a little to the left, turn a little to the right. That doesn't work, does it? Oh,
And again, a neighbor's
wait, what happened? Come back.
come back llama.
Oh, no. Yeah, you have a goat and a llama, and this is, the llama is also, belongs to a neighbor, or is
Yes,
on?
we have
There we go.
a neighbor at each end of our street, and they both have goats, sheep, and llamas. Or they each have one llama apiece. And this is, this one was delightful because sometimes a llama can be standoffish, and this one is willing to come right up to you and you tempt you to
Really?
pet him, but you kind of worry about it.
They spit, don't they? Don't they spit?
Though they're haughty.
Oh,
You know, they really have
have a little attitude.
They have a great self-image.
I love it. Now, you probably don't have enough of them in the neighborhood for your wife to get her materials for knitting done.
She could, yes.
Really?
Absolutely, yes, because the people that have that llama also have quite a number of sheep, and they do shear them.
Shear them for wool?
Yeah, we were at one of their shearing parties, and she sells the wool sometimes, yes.
How fun. So you're in the country. You're up in Sandy. You're up in,
On a ridge.
yeah, nice. That sounds beautiful. So if people are interested, if you have other artists in the community that want to check out East, what does the Artisans Guild have to offer people? You've got the monthly meetings, you have shows where you can display your work. What would you tell somebody who was interested in possibly joining the Guild?
Well, I think it's a nice community of artists, and it's not so tight that it's cloying. The opportunities to participate are strictly voluntary. Nobody's pushing you. I found that I didn't think I'd be doing PR, but I thought, well, I'm a retired graphic designer. Why can't I do that? Yeah. Certainly I can do that. It takes quite a bit of time, but
I'm sure.
You know, that's
But you can do it.
Yes, I can do it. I can do anything. But,
I like that attitude. That's good.
But
Does take away from the 2 paintings a week, but
Well, yes, had another opportunity to join another part of it, and I think yesterday or the day before, and my answer was a little email saying, "My plate's pretty full. I got to have time to paint. Thank you." and they thanked me back. So it's not a pressure situation.
yeah.
They have in the past they have had outreach programs to the local schools to encourage art with the children.
I like that.
And
do you still do that?
not at the moment, but that could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm so focused in on this show.
Yeah. Well, let's get this done, and then we'll
yeah.
move on from there. Yeah. But I like that idea because the arts have been cut out of so many schools that it's if you get the support of the community to kind of bring it back in, that's a pretty cool thing.
They sort of tagged it into some of the pioneering history of Sandy.
Oh.
They had a thing where the children made soap.
Really?
Now, I'm not a soap maker.
You're not. Well, you can't do everything.
No.
Yeah.
But if they want to do something with watercolor, I'm your guy.
Okay. Well, Sandy's become quite the artist community, hasn't it?
Yes, it's not all painters.
No, that's what I mean. It's soap making. It's hat knitting. It's
there's glass blowing. There's wonderful sculptures made out of paper and material. Baskets that kind of look organic.
Yeah.
There's some nice stuff.
Yeah. Do you have other places around Sandy where you are able to display things besides this show that people could check out when they are on their way up the mountain?
Well, it always varies. Right now, there's a show in the Sandy Chamber of Commerce building. We have a thing going with them where every month we put up a show of some sort. And the January month the theme was snow. So we have a nice wall of snow paintings. After that, we had one of these meetings, on a Monday, and the consensus was, well, does anybody want to have a show on February? And somebody said, okay. So next, anyway, I worked all the way down. There was a hole in March, so I said, I'll do March.
That's great. Well, you keep plenty busy, don't you?
Yeah.
So is there, how does your group, are you self-supporting, you do donations, that kind of, not donations, membership and that kind of thing?
Yes, membership is very, very inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's $15 a year for a person or $20 for a family. We are also working with Clackamas County's Art Alliance, and we will be cooperating with them to put on a show in the Sandy Library again.
Right, okay.
And we're also working with them to do 3 traveling shows that will travel around Clackamas County.
Oh, good.
So, and then we also are encouraged to participate in the Gresham Art Show at the Gresham City Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And
we videotape that every month and put it on our channel. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I've watched a lot of those.
Oh, you might have.
I probably have.
You saw me there.
Yeah. Actually, I think I have because some of that work looked familiar, your style. So, well, sounds like you're all over, and we can find you in many places. If people want to find out more information about WYEast or about you as an artist, the WYEast has a website, and we'll have that information up there. If you want to find out about you as an artist, do you have your own website or?
No, well, I have the Terra Ridge Ceramics website, but it has nothing to do with the art part. It's a different. We have several interests, my wife and I.
You are busy people.
Yes.
I like that though. Before we go, any last words that we should know about the show coming up? Well, it should be delightful. The show, as you know, the Sandy Actors Theater people put on a terrific show. That amazing talent that can stand up in front of people and do this stuff. And you're sitting right there, 8 feet from them. Right.
I'm dazzled. But anyhow, so we hope our paintings reflect some of that, and that they'll be pleasant to look at, and maybe people might enjoy them so much they'll want to snatch them away. There you go. It sounds like it'd be a real fun evening. Really fun evening. Good. All right. Thanks so much, Brendan. I appreciate you being on the show tonight. Thank you, Monica. Yeah, you bet. And if you're interested in getting more information about WYEast Artisans Guild or the show coming up, please check out the website. We'll have that information on the screen. And don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Community Hotline.
local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Okay, you want some tips? I got some tips for you. I'm the county health officer. I got some tips. You ready? Don't do that. Do not do that. That is not what you, bad. That is bad. This is what you want. You ready? Here's my tip. Did you notice that form? Look at that. I block the sneeze into the elbow, not the hand. The hand, bad. Hi, nice to meet you. You don't want to shake this hand. This hand is getting in the way of your health. Much better. Have a good flu season.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more on our website at metroeast.org.
Hi, welcome back to Community Hotline. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And now I'm here with Judith O'Connell, who is the director of the Mount Hood, let me do this right, let me say this again, Mount Hood Caregiver Solutions and the Mount Hood
Adult Day Center.
Adult Day Center, thank you.
Right.
There's too many words there, Judith. I can't keep up with it.
Well, they're very similar names,
They
but
are.
they do completely different things.
Okay, so, but you are with the Mount Hood Caregiver Solutions.
Yes, we are.
And that oversees the day center? Is
No,
that how that works?
The day center is focused on our participants, people who need a little help during the day. We provide clubs for them all day, and we've been open for about 4 years, and I noticed right away that our caregivers are going to need some extra help. So we came up with the idea of having a nonprofit to be formed to help them financially and help them find resources.
Ah, okay.
So that's where
the
Mount Hood
difference.
Caregiver Solutions come
Oh,
from.
okay,
So we
good.
were able
Thank
to.
you. And I knew this, but I had to have that. You just,
Well, it's
get older,
close,
you
but not
get
the
older,
same
you know,
thing.
you forget these things.
Yeah.
You know how that is.
Yeah.
And along that vein, the day center though works specifically with people that just need a place to go.
Yeah, a little
during the day.
assistant during the day.
A little break for the caregivers.
Our participants that come to the day center can have memory loss or no memory loss at all. As you age, your social circle seems to get smaller and smaller, and Mount Hood Adult Day Center is a solution to expand that social circle and provide supervision for those that need. We help with toileting if somebody needs help with that. Unfortunately, that's part of getting old. Sometimes you need a little help in the restroom, so we're there. We're there for that.
Becoming ambulatory. Sometimes it's just hard getting up and out of a chair, or just getting around. So tell me, where are you located? First of all, where is the day center located?
376th and 219th. So the closest is what would be Gleason and 223rd. So there's a crunch over there, and then we're tucked right behind there, so we've got lots of space for people gardening and things like that.
So you have outdoor stuff too then?
Yes, absolutely.
So
horticulture therapy, and we go for walks. We have a personal trainer that works with our participants.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, you said you mentioned people that have memory loss and people that don't. Who would be a typical person to come there, and what kind of people are going to benefit from going to the day center? Give me an example. You said people with memory loss, so it's maybe
Right.
somebody who's an Alzheimer's
Yes.
patient?
Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, some
Okay.
stroke victims come. And it would be a situation where they're living at home with a family caregiver, be that their wife, their daughter, their son. And sometimes those caregivers still need to work, and in that instance, their loved one would come to us Monday through Friday.
So
while
some
they
are
worked
regulars
all
that are there
day.
every
Yep,
day. Oh,
yep.
okay.
And then some just want to have a little break outside and away from each other.
So it's a drop-in
Just
sort of
because you
service.
have a stroke or dementia doesn't mean you don't need a break from your family.
Right,
So
right.
it's
and
good
they,
for
and
everybody.
they from you.
And it goes vice
yeah,
versa.
because being a caregiver is a really, really tough thing to do. I
Yes.
mean, you do it because you love the person,
Right.
but that's a hard thing
Right,
to
mom's
do.
still mom and knows
Yeah.
every single button you have, and is not
Isn't
afraid to
that the
push
truth?
push them.
Yeah. So for the caregivers, that's a real plus too, to be able to know that you're taking your loved one to a place where they're going to be safe,
Yes.
they're going to be cared for, and hopefully they're going to have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we really make sure that there's a successful day. A lot of times if you have dementia or you have a stroke or something like that, you wake up and your first challenge is getting dressed. Well, you feel like you failed at that. Someone had to help you. So the whole day feels like it's stacking up failures.
Right.
And so when somebody comes to the center, we greet them and start introducing some successful events. We have
I love that.
tools for playing cards so they can hold their cards right if they have a stroke and they need a little bit of help with that. We have cooking club, and we have interns that will help with cooking club so they can have a successful cooking experience. So we try to create those successful days.
I like that you focus on the successes. My mother had Parkinson's, and I know that as she got older and it became more progressed, it was difficult because things that had
Right.
previously been so easy weren't anymore, and it was
Yeah.
depressing and sometimes
Right.
embarrassing and frustrating.
Yeah.
And to be able to have the focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do.
Yeah, a lot of times depression almost seems unavoidable
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
become shut in and your social or your social circle so small. So we try to expand that social circle, and it's very counterintuitive for those with depression. A lot of them are home. Well, I don't want to go anywhere.
Right.
Well, and really, that's going to be the worst thing for
Right,
you is to
right.
stay in front of the TV for another day.
So if you can just get there that
Get
one
out,
time,
yeah,
you
go
might
on
find
out.
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So what about the people that work there? Do you have people that have been there a while?
Yeah, we have, I would say, 85% of our staff has been with us since we opened, and the rest we've added as we went. So we've
That's
got a
pretty
lot of
good.
longevity with our team.
Do they build relationships with the people that come in?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
use the best friends approach. So an example of that is some caregivers will come in and they'll stand right over you and look down and, do you want a cup of coffee? How are you doing? And we don't do that. We're going to sit down with you and say, hey, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. Do you want one too?
Oh, I like that.
So we're going to meet them where they're at, as opposed to talking down to them and serving quickly and running off. We're going to sit down and have that relationship with them.
Yeah, instead of the waitress, it's your friend that came to join you for the meal.
And we have a lot of really great community relationships. So we
Community partners? you
Yeah,
mean?
so CAL, Center for Advanced
yeah,
Learning,
yeah.
they have
What do they
their
do?
health students, and they come in and they help us out, and we'll
nice.
interview.
We
and-
work a lot with them
Yeah.
in their media
Yeah.
department.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah.
And then Mount Hood Community College, we also have interns that come there. So
You
we're
can't do it without community partners, can you? I mean, everything is so much more successful
the
when
quality
we partner.
of the care we can offer based on the interns and the mentoring we do is phenomenal. I'm really proud of that.
Wow. Well, you've convinced me. Tell me, how are you funded for your?
We're privately funded. I am a result of the recession. My husband and I were watching our 401k go down, and we said, well, if we are going to lose, let's lose on our own terms. So we took everything out of our 401k and sunk it into the day center.
Wow.
And it's been, other than my kids, I have to say that, it has been a really rewarding, wonderful thing that I've
wonderful.
done with my life. I'm just real
But you
passionate about it.
That's great. But you are 501c3?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yes.
so the Caregiver Solutions is a nonprofit,
Okay.
and that's the piece that we're throwing a gala for and trying to raise awareness of what caregivers are going through. When I started, I was very focused on our participants. I wanted to make sure they got all those things that we've talked about, the successful day. but our caregivers were coming in exhausted. They had limited resources. And to try to explain to an 85-year-old woman who hasn't slept in a week what the difference between Medicare and Medicaid is almost impossible. So we saw an immediate need for support groups, and we started one, which filled, and then we started another that filled.
Wow.
And then we started another. So over the course
That's
of,
your clue you're doing the right thing, isn't it?
over the course of the year, we run 72 support groups. Wow. So we fund a lot of those, and then we also have participants that come in and they can't quite make the gap financially, and they need a little bit of help to be able to provide care, and we'll provide care for them.
Wow. Okay.
So.
Well, before I forget, you brought some pictures.
Oh.
And I think you brought some of the day center.
Yeah.
And so I want to take a look at those, and then I want to get back and talk a little bit more about that gala, so people
Okay.
know what to do if they want to go to that.
All right.
Let's see what we've got here.
So this is the support groups that I was talking
Okay.
about. We have caregiver support groups, which are family caregivers. And then we have transitions group, which is for caregivers that are no longer full-time.
Oh,
So if you've
okay.
placed your mom in a community or they passed away, it's tough for caregivers. They're used to doing it 24/7, so now what are you?
Been
you
there,
know?
done that. Yep. It's
Very
a tough place to
difficult
be.
transition. And then we have support groups also for our participants.
Oh, okay.
So having someone
So-
tell you that you can no longer drive, you need a buddy to talk that through. So we do have support
You
groups.
kind of cover all the areas, don't you?
It's complicated.
Okay. So activities and clubs.
Yep, we do spiritual wellness. That's Pastor Sam up there, and
I have met Pastor Sam before.
he's
Yeah.
an amazing guy, and
Yeah.
he leads our daily devotional. And then these are hands of our caregivers.
Ah.
This is what I was talking about earlier.
Is this popular?
Outdoor area. Yes, very much so. We make salads right out of our gardens.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And,
yeah.
and caregivers and participants to come together on the gardening. They really love to come in and have that part of their day.
You're just nurturing something, bringing,
Oh.
something that's alive, and you're
Exactly, exactly. Here's scrapbooking.
Oh, I bet that's fun too.
Yeah, yeah. That's Alicia. She started with us as an intern, and now works for us full time.
Nice.
So.
Looks like you have a good time. Oh, check that out.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
So.
What is this up on the top? Looks like they're performing.
Yeah, those are some square dancers that came in to do a performance for us.
Wow.
And they came from the senior center over here in Gresham.
Right down the
Yep,
street. It's about
absolutely.
2
They
blocks
came in
away.
and helped us out, and then Elvis came in
Elvis,
and sang
yes.
for us.
You found him.
Yep. He is alive.
Yes.
We had a big potluck for all our caregivers, and they came in. It's hard to find social engagements when you're a caregiver that you can bring your loved
Yes,
one
that's
to,
so
and
true.
and not worry if they're socially appropriate.
Right,
so
right.
they'll come in, and
Yeah, that's
it
kind of a
was
relief to
just
have
a
a place
great
to go. Yeah, I
time.
bet.
Very well attended. We also do Memories in the Making, and Alzheimer's Association came up with this program. It was East Coast, and then we piloted it over here. And we work with early onset and young onset Alzheimer's, and we do art shows with them.
Great.
And it's write the memories on the back. It's really remarkable
Oh, I like
what we
that.
can come up with.
A million ways to be creative. I bet there
Yeah.
are. And you've covered a lot of them, haven't you?
Well, there's always something new. And this was another photo on our potluck, and one of our interns there helping us out. These are ladies. And this is just an example of the great friendships that can be formed at the day center.
And probably give people something to look forward to. You know, get
Right.
out in the morning. It's like, oh, I'm going to go see my friend so-and-so today. That's great. You know, because that can be difficult. Like you said, your shrinking social circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be really tough. So the gala that you have, I want to get back to that.
Oh, yeah.
The date of that is February 6th.
February
Is that
6th.
correct? And where is that going to be held?
That's at the center.
Okay.
So it's over there by 223rd and Gleason, tucked
Okay.
in behind there.
And that is from 4:30 to 7?
Yes,
Is that right? So
4:30
it's
to
in the
7.
afternoon.
Yep.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is honor and shed light on what the daily activities of the caregiver. What are they going through? There's so much talked about how hard it is to have Parkinson's, how hard it is to have Alzheimer's, but very few people are talking about the fact that the caregiver is more likely to pass away than the person they're caring for,
Isn't that
because
incredible?
it's such a trying job.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit, because I know as a caregiver, you have an incredible amount of stress. You feel responsible for somebody
Right.
who needs a lot of care.
Right.
It's very easy to put your own health needs at the bottom of the pile.
Right.
Tell me, what else should people be aware of if they find themselves as a caregiver or know someone who is a caregiver?
Well, one of the quotes I just recently got from a caregiver that was one of our first, her husband was the first participant that we ever had.
Oh, wow.
And she cared for him and was devoted to him. She felt like there was such a thing as too much devotion.
Really?
Because as soon as he had passed away, then her body had given out, because your endorphins kind of keep you going in the emergency situation, but then there's an end to that. And so when she finally relaxed, her body was just tired, and her quality of life had gone downhill significantly. And she felt like if she had taken better care of herself during that time, she might have a better quality now.
Yeah, and that's sad. That's sad
It
to think
is.
that, and I don't think people realize that when they're in that place, as a caregiver, that if I'm not taking care of myself, for one thing, I'm going to be no good to the person I'm
Right.
caring for. And what happens when that, when I'm done with that particular job, if
Yeah.
you lose that person or they move on to a place where you're no longer having to care for them.
Right.
Even if you're there part-time, that changes. Like that
Yeah.
transitions group, I'm sure is really helpful for that.
Absolutely. That's a
yeah.
big topic in support group, is being prepared. What happens if you're not here?
Yeah.
What do you want to have happen? Because it's happened for us. Our caregivers have passed away, and that just fuels my passion for the nonprofit, that we really need to get the word out so people can have more support and know what's available to them.
And it's hard to ask for. That's what I found. It's
Yeah.
just asking for the help because you think, this is my
It's my
responsibility.
job. It's betrayal if I,
if I'm asking for help,
Yeah.
it's saying I'm a failure as.
You tie such heavy words to asking for help as a caregiver.
Yeah,
So
it's very emotional. It's
Yeah.
very emotional. It's very, it's a fragile kind of a relationship, really.
It
I mean,
is.
that's a
is.
tough one. And then after a caregiver perhaps loses a person, if the person passes on, that is a really difficult situation there. But you have support for those people. I mean, like for a caregiver support group. After,
Yes, that's our transitions group.
That's the transitions
and
group.
we've,
So
at
if
this
they've lost
point,
the
we've got
person,
caregivers that came in and they went to the support groups for years while they were with us, and then they transitioned into the other group, the transition group, and
Transition to the
transition
transitions,
group,
yes.
exactly. And that group has helped build the friendships, because they're going through
Similar things.
experiences, and they've done things like go to the beach and they go to movies together, and they've really bonded together to survive.
to know that it's okay to have fun. And,
It's okay to laugh again.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it's okay to feel relief.
yes,
Because that's a tough one, I think, for people that are in that position. Because,
yeah,
I feel guilty because I feel relieved.
yeah. I feel like
Because
I've been mourning this whole time.
Yeah.
Do I really need to keep mourning?
Yeah,
It's
that's a
very
tough one.
difficult.
Yeah, so that's
get
important.
through. Yeah.
That's good to know. So, what would you like people to know then? What's the most important thing you want people to take away from this, besides coming to the gala?
Well, absolutely come to the gala. But what I want people to know is that there is a lot of support for caregivers out there. They don't need to be on their own, and they can go on our website or call me personally. That's part of the nonprofit piece that I do, is share information. If somebody is lost, they don't know what to do for funding, they don't know how to get on Medicaid, give me a call and I'll make sure they get the right phone numbers and are set up.
So you'd be
They're
a good
not
resource
alone.
there.
Yeah, they're not alone.
And if I happen to know someone who is a caregiver who I see is struggling, I could refer them to contact you or to look on the website.
Absolutely.
for
We're
that
not
kind
going
of
to be
help.
the answer for everyone.
Yeah,
but
but
we
you're
can
a
help
good
them
resource
find-
and a
yeah.
referral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good,
So.
good. That's wonderful. Well, that's hopeful for people, and I think caregivers need to realize that they are appreciated, and that we can't do without them in our community,
Yeah.
but that they need to take care of themselves.
It's a swelling population, so we
Well, as,
really need to, as a society, figure out how we're going to care for them.
Yeah. Well, the baby boomer generation.
How do you care for a caregiver?
Yeah. I know. There's some of us, it's kind of straddling that line
Yeah,
there. So,
yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you, Judith. Judith, I appreciate it. And so if people are interested, the gala is open to the public? Is
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
So if we want more information, we can go to your website
Yep,
and
go on
check
the
it out.
website. It'll tell all about it.
Okay.
And
Tickets in
also,
advance or at the door? Or
they can get the tickets either by going to the website, or they can come to the door.
And what can we expect at that?
Ooh, it's going to be fun.
tell me about
we
it.
just booked a jazz trio that will be playing for us. We have a cellist that'll be playing in the basket room. We've got wonderful baskets that have been donated to the event.
Oh, fun. Like baskets full of things, or just baskets that are beautiful baskets? Or
Baskets full of things. So
Okay.
we have
So things that you can bid
Yep.
on, maybe? Is that like a
Yep.
silent auction?
Silent auction,
Okay.
exactly. And so we'll have about 30 baskets there that you can bid on. There's going to be speakers talking about their journeys as a caregiver, and family caregivers will be put in a drawing, and they have opportunity to win a $500 basket.
Oh,
And
nice.
other drawings throughout the night. We just want to make sure that we're stopping and saying thank you for what you do,
like
and
that.
thank you for the efforts you put out.
Is this something you should show up at 4:30? Could you come?
Yeah, you should be there at 4:30.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll
Yes.
outbid you on your basket.
Okay, that's a challenge if I ever heard one. Okay, thank you very much, Judith. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. And thanks so much for watching this episode of Community Hotline. Mount Hood Caregiver Solutions and the Mount Hood Adult Day Center are places that are doing good work in our community. So do support them. Go to the gala. Go check out the website if you need more information. And if you're a caregiver or know someone who maybe needs a little help, you know where to send them now. Thanks for watching. I'm Monica Weitzel. We'll see you next week.